Sorry guys, but this is what happens when you have more children's Tylenol in your home than you do Coke bottles. Social justice warriors, come out and play. Social justice warriors, come out and play. Social justice warriors, come out and play. What's up, guys? This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. Enjoying a day off, the first I've had in a few days. And, here I am to share a little bit of time with you to tell you what's on my mind. And I want to just weigh in on this ongoing thing. Now, it seems that John Boyega, has, issued a statement to a tiny section of the Star Wars fans. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, John. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You're not talking to all the fans. You're talking to a tiny section of the fans. And you're weighing in on what's been going on with your apparent friend, Marie Tran. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of this article here so you can see and put into context what I'm talking about, okay? So let's see here. You have this article, and it is on the BBC.com. Once again, shout out to the UK, man. Damn, y'all be doing the damn thing. And the headline goes, and this is on BBC News, okay? BBC.com, do the BBC. John Boyega tells Star Wars fans to stop harassing the cast. Okay, well, the headline doesn't say he tells some Star Wars fans or a section of the Star Wars fans. He says, stop telling Star Wars fans to stop harassing the cast. Okay. Let's see. Star Wars actor John Boyega has urged fans of the franchise to stop harassing the cast on social media. His comments came after two co-stars, Daisy Ridley and Marie Tran, quit Instagram after receiving online abuse like the rest of the world. The actor who plays Finn tweeted, "If you don't like Star Wars or the characters, understand there are decision makers, and harassing the actors and actresses will do nothing." Okay. He then appeared to say he was leaving the site, telling followers, "See ya!" Fans of the sci-fi series have been vocal about recent films' storylines, often directing their views at Boyega. The London-born actor who appeared in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi told his followers, "You're not entitled to politeness when your approach is rude, even if you paid for a ticket." Okay. I guess the customer is not always right, huh? Okay. He later stressed that the vast majority of fans... And by the way, let me just say this. I do not justify people being rude under any circumstance. I don't like people being rude. But if you've ever worked in any avenue of customer service, you know that it is something that you have to put up with. One of my first jobs was at a department store. Another one was at a fast food joint. And what can I say? It's like you're always going to have to deal with irate customers, and you don't always get to go back and forth. Usually the people who argue with customers are the people who get fired. All right, so that's probably something that I don't know, Disney, Lucasfilm, and everyone who's associated with them these days should keep in mind. When you argue with your customers, traditionally, your ass ends up getting fired, okay? That's just been my experience. Everyone who's worked in customer service, you're welcome to sound off. If I'm wrong, let me know. Okay, it just disappeared. Here we are. He later stressed that the vast majority of fans supported the cast and thanked them for putting yourselves in our shoes, adding, "You understand that there's a process. So much appreciated." That prompted words of fatherly advice from Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker. And Mark Hamill himself tweeted, "Be careful there, son. The last time I let a fan put themselves in my shoes, they just took off running and sold them on eBay." Mark, you're so funny, Mark. I love Mark Hamill. I will never say anything against Mark Hamill, no matter what I'm thinking. Boyega's most recent post reads, "Episode 9 loading, see ya," referring to the fact that he's working on the new Star Wars film. Yes, it's very exciting. I heard that he's going to be growing his hair out. Woohoo! Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose Tico in 2017's The Last Jedi, suffered racist and sexist abuse on social media. She later deleted all of her Instagram posts. But Boyega replied to a message asking why Tran had deleted Instagram by writing, "Kelly is an adult and has made her decision. I haven't spoken to her, so I am just as clueless. Just accept that you don't know, as I have." What an interesting thing to say. For everyone who is saying that she signed a non-disclosure act or agreement, it very well could be. That actually makes sense. But even that hasn't been confirmed. And it seems like if they're signing these NDAs, she must be the only one who's signing them, because it seems like everybody else has got some shit to say, including Mr. Boyega. Now, Mr. Boyega says he doesn't know why she's no longer active on Instagram. He doesn't know. He has no idea. And he knows her personally. So if he can say, "I don't know," then why is it so hard for most people to accept that we just don't know? Why are people reading into it, including Mr. Boyega? Like I said, I have no problem believing that she's been harassed on social media, because everybody gets harassed on social media. And of course, because she's higher profile in this role of Rose Tico, which was not really appreciated in the movie, I would imagine that it's a good amount of harassment. I will imagine that, yes. But a lot of people, as many of us have made the point, if you're in showbiz, you're probably going to deal with a lot of harassment online. It's just how it is. That's the reason why most people stay away from, social media platforms, if they're celebrities. It's just how it is, so there it is. You have John Boyega saying that he has no idea why she shut it down. All right. And then it goes on to say, Daisy Ridley quit the platform in 2016 after being criticized for a post about gun violence in the U.S. Yeah, I can't imagine how, you can talk about gun violence and not get a bunch of opposing views. No, that's not going to happen. Talk about religion. I can't see people arguing with you about religion, or politics. No. Everything should be safe. The internet should be your safe space to talk about religion and politics and sexism and, racism and all that stuff. You're never going to get any pushback for any of that. It should be safe. They're absolutely right. So anyway, there you have it. John Boyega weighs in. And to me, I just want to say a couple of things really quickly. And what it makes me think, because I've heard from, or I should say we've heard from at this point, John Boyega. We've heard from, Blockhead Johnson. We've heard from Mark Hamill. We've heard from, a few people, associated with Star Wars regarding this Kelly Marie Tran situation. We haven't heard from her. We haven't heard from, we haven't heard from Daisy Ridley. We haven't heard from Gwendolyn Christie. We haven't heard from Laura Dern. What's funny is that it seems like we've only heard from the men so far. I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy has made any statements, but it's just kind of funny because to me it shows the hypocrisy of this whole thing. You notice there's two scenes, all right, that I'm thinking of specifically in two of the Star Wars movies, of these later movies. There's a scene in The Force Awakens where Finn goes to help Rey in the very beginning, and then he realizes that she doesn't need his help. And then there's, he just backs up because clearly she's kicking ass. She doesn't need him. And then there's a scene in Rogue One where a man, and I can't remember his name, that's part of my problem with Rogue One. I can't remember the character's name, but I think you know the one I'm talking about. He goes to help Jyn Erso, and he has to fall back because he realizes she can handle herself. She's kicking ass. Man does not need to save a woman, And, there it is. It's like the message seems to be that women don't need men to always come charging in, on their steed, to be saving them. So in real life, why aren't these guys practicing that? Why do they think, like, we're supposed to believe that Kelly Marie Tran is somewhere in a fetal position, shaking, shivering, because 7 months after The Last Jedi came out, she's decided that she couldn't take anymore. And by the way, they're attributing this to some obscure Facebook group, that has been banned off of Facebook since February, and no one can find any proof of them. And, we're just supposed to believe this is the group that ran this woman off of the internet. Okay, all right, fine. But anyway, This is what I'm saying. It's like there's hypocrisy in this. You know, that men, based upon Disney's own narrative, Disney Lucasfilm's own narrative, that men have to come charging in to the defense of the woman. Isn't this kind of outdated by you guys' own narrative? You know, so excuse me, you know, I have to point out the hypocrisy in that very notion. You know, and you know, the second point of hypocrisy is that these guys are spending an awful lot of time attacking what they call a small vocal minority. It's like you guys go all out, you know, to engage these people for the last, like I said, something like 6-7 months. You guys have been arguing back and forth on every social media platform with what you consider to be a small vocal minority. See, this is part of the problem, because if you're going to call them a small vocal minority, then when are you going to address the larger group of people who are critical of The Last Jedi from the very beginning? If you had done that from the very beginning, none of this mess might even be happening. You know, if you had just said, you know, like Ron Howard, class act. Ron Howard already had a little bit of a statement, you know, that he made to a fan talking about the underperformance of Solo, a Star Wars story. You know, he expressed regret that people aren't going out to see it. You know, he entertained the idea that the people who aren't going out to see it are the ones who were put off by The Last Jedi. And I haven't heard him insult anyone. You know, I haven't heard him take shots at anyone. He just regrets the state of affairs. And I regret the state of affairs too. You know, because to date, I haven't seen that movie. I won't be paying to see the movie. I've said it from day one. And I'm sorry that it had to be Ron Howard. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry that it had to be this movie. But still, even with the hit, even though Ron Howard's name is going to be associated with the biggest bomb so far, I'm still pulling for episode 9 to take that crown. But even though his name is so far associated with the biggest bomb in Star Wars history, he's still taking the high road. Why is it that The Last Jedi, even though they made their money, they can't fucking accept the fact that the fans have rejected what they put out there? I don't understand it. You know, what is up with the constant disrespect, you know, the constant combative nature of the interaction between these people and the fans on social media? You know, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it, but you know, the longer they do that, the more of a mess this is going to be. And unfortunately, the franchise is going to suffer for it. It absolutely will, because the people in general don't want their voices to be ignored. People like to be heard. People like to be considered. People like to be respected. Why is that such an alien concept for these people? I have no idea, but it goes on and it looks like it has no end in sight. And I just wanted to weigh in on that, because you know, I've been busy with work and, you know, my son and everything. I'm back to the routine, and you know, I'm just laying back in the cut and I'm just like watching these stories, and I'm, you know, watching the videos, you know, of these you know, everybody out here who's doing a fantastic job, and I just wanted to throw my voice into it as usual. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that particular subject. As the world turns, folks, as the world turns, tune in for the next episode. But anyway, that's it for me. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. As always, I want to thank everybody for your participation. I want to thank everyone for the support, for the comments, for the likes, for the shares. You guys are the absolute best. I'll never stop saying it. I will catch you on the next one. Rock on.